Uh, Welcome to the Apple School of Knowledge. Today we have got something special for you. The essential topic for your academic journey in ACCA, and that is uh, management information. We will discuss management information. Wait a minute. Yeah. This is all about management information. We call this paper as MA1. Clear? So, are you ready to drive uh, the knowledge previously you have, what you have learned? But today we will dive deep into the world of information management. Well, let's get started. And today video, we are gonna explore everything you need to know about paper MA1 management information. And guess what? We will cover it from the chapter number 1 to chapter number 20. That's right, every chapter in this critical paper. So first, let's break it down. Chapter number 1 is all about managing information, why it's so important, how it drives businesses forward. We will also dive into the role of office, understand how transaction works, and explore the uh, the intricate detail that keep the wheels turning in any organization. But that's not all. We have got something extra for you, that is MCQs to test your understanding both from the study hub of ACCA and some additional sources. Trust me, you will want to stay tuned till the end. So grab your notebook and get ready. We are about to make management information exciting and super easy to understand. Clear? So our first topic is uh, business organization. We'll discuss that what does we mean by the business organization. First, you have to understand what is organization. Then you will understand that what we mean by business organization. So organization is a group of people working together to achieve a common objective. So in the group of people, let's say this is a group of people or a group of individual, and an individual or a group of people working together to achieve a common objective, mean all have the same objective, all are just trying to achieve that common objective, then we call that group as organization. Clear? Then the other hand, you have business organization. Then business organization, the group of people working together, working to achieve a commercial goal. So when this common goal is commercial, it means that this is business organization. By commercial, we means that this is profit based. Clear? So when the individual or groups working together to achieve a common goal, a common objective, and that objective is commercial. When the objective is commercial, then we call that type of organization as a business organization. Clear? Okay, now you have some types of business organization, and the first one is, you will say, small scale, and the other one we call as large scale. By small scale, we means individual traders, like self-employed barber, you may retailer, like this. And by large scale, we mean global corporation. And for that, you have the example of Ford, you may say Google, you may also say Apple. So these are the large scale business organization. The objective is, profit base. Clear? Now, there are some organizations which are non-commercial organization. Non-commercial organization. Non-commercial organization means that these organizations are non-profit based. Non-profit based. And for that, we have example of, that is charity, schools, government schools, you say, and other organization with non-profit goals. So we will call that organization is non-commercial organization. And their purpose is to make profit, but to serve a cause. So means uh, they are also earning profit, but they are actually want to serve a cause. Their primary objective is to serve the cause, not earning profit, like that of the commercial organization. Okay, so business organization come in all shape and size, that may be in small or maybe in large scale. They could include anything from individual trader, that we call as a small scale self-employed barber, to a vast global corporation that we call as the large scale. And the example is Ford, Google, and Apple. Okay, some organizations such as charity, school, and other non-commercial organizations are non-profit oriented and therefore have no commercial purpose and goals. So the focus of this paper is business organization, but the techniques learned will also apply to managing the charity and other not-for-profit organization. Clear? So means that this focus on business organization, this paper is basically focus on business organization, but technique learned can also be used to manage the non-profit organization like charity. Clear? Okay. Now you see here you have organization. We have discussed this in a very detail, and there is some commercial organization, some are non-commercial. Commercial we means that this is a business organization. This is those organizations which actually serve the cause, and the primary objective is not to get a profit. So commercial organization, we have example that is a commercial manufacturer, private sector, schools, social media corporations, video games producers, movie studios, pharmaceutical firms, audit firm, private hospital. And on other hand, you have non-commercial organization, that is government trusted hospital, government institution, charities, political parties, sport association, welfare association, and public university and professional association. Clear? Okay. Now let's talk about, we have already understand that what is organization, then we have discussed about the business organization. Now we have to discuss the function of business organization, and this is very important for you guys to understand, because you may be asked question in the paper from this area. So common function, that may be referred to as a part or maybe department. You see, business function may also be referred to as a parts or department. Okay, so common function, or you may say department in business organization, as purchasing department, production that is related to operation. So purchasing department is actually ensure the business buy products and services or of the required quality at the best price. So that is the function, the description for the function of the business organization that is purchased. So purchasing is department is basically concerned or to ensure that the business buy products and services of the required quality. So whatever the quality they are required, they are purchasing that one and at the best price. So they are just keeping in mind value for money, value for money when they are purchasing other things. So the purpose is just to buy products, services, goods, services for the qualities, means they are just thinking about the economy, effectiveness, and efficiency, and the best price. So it means that you are working economically, clear, and that you are not compromising the quality of the product. Then you have another function that we call as the production function, or you can say operations. So this one is just concerned with the produce goods, produce goods, services, okay, or provide services that the business sell. So this business organization function is concerned with the production of the goods or providing services for the business that business sell. So the production function is of a business organization is responsible for producing goods, providing services that the business sells. So the example here you see assembly line in a car manufacturing company. The second is saloon services and hair styling businesses. So these are the goods and services that are required for the business to sell it. Okay, so you see here the assembly line is an integral part of the production function and motor vehicle manufacturing business. A service business may also have production operation function. For example, saloon would be the primary operation function of a business that offers his styling services. Clear? Now let's move on. We have to discuss another function, that is sales and marketing. Sale and marketing, this is concerned that generate sale and ensure smooth transaction between the buyers and the sellers. Marketing function is ensuring the potential buyers know the product benefits and that the product match the customer needs. So sale function is about generate sale revenue and ensuring the transaction proceed as smoothly as possible for the buyer. As in the marketing function, I am to ensure the potential buyers know about the product or services and the product and services match what the customer actually required or need. Then we have another function, that is finance and accounting, a very important department, and this is concerned with the processes of financial data, provides performance reports, monitor cash flow to keep the business afloat. So the finance function is the process of financial data, provide financial performance information. The finance department has to monitor the organization cash, ensuring the payment can be made on time. Clear? Then you have the accounting, that is concerned with paying employees and suppliers, records and control customer payment. So business fail because it runs out of cash, even if it is profitable. So these some cases when the businesses fail, they are unable to perform and the industry because it run out of cash. Even the performance of the business show profitability, but they are just running out of the cash, so they uh, they are unable to run in the industry. So therefore, the finance function is essential to keeping the company afloat. So what actually I have said, that this is a very important, because you need to manage the finances, and if you are not able to do this, if the company, even the company is profitable, but if you are not properly managed your cash, your finances, then you will be fail in that particular industry. Accounting department, I have discussed that this is concerned with the pay and pay up employees and suppliers, records and control customer payments. So as a part of finance function, okay, this is also a part of finance function. And you may here, let me show you, this is a part of finance function. You must be clear with that. And activities include paying implies what is the activities related to the accounting, that is paying implies and suppliers and recording and controlling the customer receipt. So this is your MCQs. These MCQs, that what is the activity of accounting department? So that is the pay implies and suppliers, and also recording and controlling customer receipt. Then at last you have human resources, that is related to the personnel. So human resources functions, sometimes called as personnel functions, ensure that organization contain the people and skill required to operate effectively. So they are just responsible for ensuring that the organization contain people and skill required to operate effectively. So if the business want to run properly, compete in the industry, they need the organization with the people who have some skills, and which are the requirement to for operating effectively the organization activities. So this include hiring and firing implies. They are concerned with the hiring and firing of employees. Okay, they also concerned with the training. They also concerned with the health and safety or all welfare. So the function of human resources, or that they ensure the organization has the right people and skill to operate, and then handles hiring, training. They also health and safety and employee welfare. Okay, so we have discussed that what are the business function, that is purchasing, production, sales, marketing, finance and accounting, and at last we have discussed human resources, which we call HR or personnel function. Clear? Okay, let's move on. Okay, now other functions, depending on the size and the purpose, you'll see here, depending on the size and the purpose of a business organization, it may have some other function, that is information technology, research and development, after sales services, customer care, facility and general administration. These are the other function which is based or depend on the size and the purpose of the business organization. So information technology, IT, which we call IT, that ensure the businesses use technology effectively. So information technology function is to ensure that the business uses technology effectively. Then you have research and development, that focuses on the new products and procedures. Then you have after sale and service, or you can say like customer care, that are responsible to handle customer satisfaction after a purchase. And then you have other facilities, that is manage the working environment, responsible for the appropriate and orderly working environment faculties. So these other faculties after sale and services, research and development information, and the last you have journal administration. Journal administration responsible for organization administrative of the business. So journal administration oversees the organization administration of the business. Clear? Now let's move on. We have organizational chart. Clear? Okay, organization chart and a way of showing how the different function within a business organize is by using a simple organization chart. Organization chart are simplified way of demonstrating formal information. Organization chart is actually a simplified way of demonstrating formal relation, including level of authority, communication flow, reporting channel within the business organization. So what actually this organization chart is about, this is a simplified way for demonstrating the formal relationship and also including the level of authority, communication flow and reporting channel within the organization. Clear? Okay, so organization chart, you have organization chart, organizational differences by size. So the organization function are handled by dedicated department. In small organization, function might be handled by one person performing multiple roles. Clear? Now organizational chart, we have discussed that organizational chart show how different function in a business are structured. It highlights the formal relationship that we call hierarchy, and then communication flow and reporting channels. So organization chart is actually uh, you know uh, highlights the formal relationship, also communication flow and reporting channel. Clear? Now you see here you have a senior management here, and then you have purchasing, production, sale and marketing, finance and human resource. So these are the different functions. Now you see here the top level leadership is leadership is at the top level of the chart, that is senior management, and role of leadership is plan the organizational direction. Leadership is at the top showing as senior management, and the function is planning. Leadership involves planning a course for the organization, ensuring it remain on track. This means that the role of leadership is plan the organization direction and ensure it stay on track. Clear? Now small businesses in small businesses, the owner or the dominant individual is likely to provide leadership. So this means that the leadership is usually the owner or the dominant individual. However, senior management team will provide leadership in the large organization. So the leadership provided in the small businesses is actually the owner, while the senior management team will provide leadership in the large organization. Clear? Now you have some, you see here the line in the chart represent formal relationships such as hierarchy and communication flow, and the relationship and flow shown here are simple but can become more complex. For example, in large organization with many people carrying out function at several locations. So here we have a question, and that we'll solve it. That is matching. We have already discussed the functions, different functions like finance, sale, and HR, etc. And then we have also discussed that lines in the chart represent a farmer relationship and communication flow. Now we have MCQs, that is you see here what actually this about a matching. 1 minute. You see here matching the given definition to the primary responsibility of each function. So sale, what we have discussed, that sale is concerned with what? Finance, consultancy, and then purchasing, and then human resources. Now you will see here we have option. You have to match this. Let for example HR is responsible with hiring the new staff, so the remaining you will do by yourself and then put answer in the comment. Okay, now let's move on. We have other. Okay, you see here now you have to these all question by yourself. Here is the answer of the above question, that sale is finding new customer, finance, and so on. Now here's the question you see here. Which of the best which of the following best define the business organization? So we have discussed that business organization, by business we mean that this is organization with commercial objective. So a group of individuals working together to achieve a commercial goal, then we call that as a business organization. So commercial goals are the primary focus of the business organization. So making C is the most accurate definition. Okay. Which the following organization is typically not profit oriented, and this is your charity, schools, and we have discussed this in a very detail that charity is not the profit oriented organization, and that is called non-commercial uh, organization. That's not like a business organization. Okay, which department ensure that a business can meet its financial obligation by monitoring cash flow, and we have discussed that that function we call as the finance function. Finance function is concerned with monitoring the cash flow to ensure payment can be made on time, which is essential for the business survival. So finance function is helpful for the monitoring of the cash flow and is very essential for the business to pay to make the payment on time, and that is help for the survival of the business. And the MCQ number 2, in a business in a small business, which are the following most likely true about the purchasing function? So it may be handled by a single individual. We have discussed that in a small organization there may be a single person who can handle the whole things, the whole function activities. So in case of purchasing function in a small organization, so it may be handled by a single individual. In a small organization, function like purchasing or often handled by one person due to limited resources. Clear? Okay. Which of the following is the primarily responsible for hiring employees and ensuring the all welfare? And we have discussed that as your HR department. HR department responsible for hiring employees. So human resource function manage hiring, training, employee welfare to ensure the organization operates effectively. Clear? Okay. Now, which of the following? Oh my gosh, you see here. Wait. Which of the following does an organization chart not show? Which of the following not show? So implied performance will not show in the organization chart. The remaining thing you will see in the organization chart. Organization chart show farmer relationship throughout the level and a communication flow, but they will not show individual employee performance. Now you see here question, what do the lines in the organization chart represent? And we have discussed this at the end of the chapter, that represent the formal relationship and communication flow. Clear? Okay. Now we have other activities, that is matching activities, sales, ensuring. I think we have done this. Okay, we have done. Now here is another question. You have just a function. You see purchasing. Ensure that potential buyers know the product benefits, sale. You just take a screenshot and do it by yourself. But the answer is also here. Purchasing. So purchasing is basically ensure that only required goods or parts, sales or generate sale, and smoothness of the transaction. Finance is responsible financial data and monitoring cash flow. And the other marketing show that potential buyers know the products benefits, and human resources hiring training. We have discussed this. Now the another matching types of organization that with their purpose. So business organization providing health and safety training to employees. So this is the matching. You have to match all these organizational type with the purpose. Now here you have answer. You just look at here and then you will understand. Business organization is basically aiming to achieve profit goal because they are commercial organization. Non-commercial organization are serving a cause without a profit motto. And then finance department buying products services at a best prices. Then this one is for the purchasing. Sorry, this is for purchasing. Purchasing department is responsible for buying product service. Finance is monitoring the cash flow, and human resources are responsible for this one. Okay. Then you have the other question is leadership tracks communication flow within the organization. So leadership is plan and ensure the organization remain on track. So this is the quality or the role of the leadership. Main function show the flow of authority downward. Line in the charter track communication flow in the organization, and formal relations responsible for reporting channel. These things we have discussed. Clear? Now you see here another question MCQs, that is okay. Now here we have just we have just finished all the MCQs. Now we have some terms and with example for your understanding. What is organization? So organization, individual, group working together to achieve a common objective. Example is the school where the teacher and student work together to provide education. Business is the commercial organization, so that's motto is profit. So individual group of working together to achieve a commercial goal. The commercial goal is very important. Like a restaurant where staff work together to provide food and generate profit. So this is your business organization. What we mean by centralization, so the aggregation of the function of an organization to perform at a single location, and power and authority are held by the senior management. So centralization means that the location at the activities, all the functions are performed from the senior management side, and the authority and power held with the senior authority, and the organization to be performed from the location, that is a single location with senior management. For example, a large corporation where decision like the budgeting and hiring are made by top level executive at the headquarters. So this is the centralization explanation, that what we mean by centralization. On the other hand, you have the other concept that we call as the decentralization, which is opponent to opposite word to this centralization. Okay, now you see here decentralization means the distribution of the authority and decision making across various levels of the organization. So this is actually the distribution of the authority and decision making across the various level of the organization. It's unlike centralization. So regional offices where local managers make decision on inventory stopping without needing approval from the central office, then we call that as the decentralized system. Now, if you see here, if everything need approval from the central system, central office, it means that the system is centralized system. Okay, and there's no need for improve for taking approval. Then you see that will be your decentralization. Now, policy. What we mean by policies? Policy is actually a guide to be followed in a given set of circumstances. So policies actually you have some guideline and they need to be followed when you have some set of circumstances. For example, a company HR policy that set guideline for hiring and firing employees. So I mean if someone is working unethically, that person should be fired. So that is the policy, that is the guideline that the employees of that particular company need to follow. Otherwise, they will be fired, and that is the policy. So policy is actually the guidelines that is set by the organization, and the employees of that organization have to follow that set up guideline. Procedure, by procedure we mean that a sequence of steps for completing a specific activity and explain how a policy should be implemented or achieved. So procedure is actually uh, the, the sequence of steps that are required for specific activity. For example, you want to you want to cook something. For that, you have to follow some procedure, and after following the procedure, then you will be able to achieve what you actually want. So, and explain how policy should be implemented to achieve implement or achieve. So manufacturing procedures detailing the step to assemble a product according to a company standards. So the company policy is they have just set some guidelines, some standard that the employees should follow that. Employees should follow that to manufacture products. And for manufacturing their product, the employee should follow some procedure to get that particular product. Clear? Now we have best practice. What is the meaning of best practice? What does term indicate? So actually the policy or procedure accepted is being consistently most effective. So means those policies or maybe procedure that are uh, uh, acceptable because they are consistently most effective. So we call such a practice as a best practice. For example, you see here a quality control practice where a company use the best available method for inspecting product per defect. So that will be the best practice. This is the quality control practice, which is the best because if you're consistently getting the most effective result, that procedure or that policy will be acceptable, and that is called best practice. Now we have a concept of asset. What is asset? Asset is actually a resources that is controlled by the businesses due to something that happened in the past. Okay, you have done something in the past, and as a result of that, you have resources, and this resource is controlled by the business expected, and these resources expected to bring economic benefit in the future. So these resources which come as a result of something that happened in the past, and these resources the business is expected from these resources that they will bring some economic benefit in the future. So we call that sort of resources is asset. Okay, so asset is actually, I'll say that these are the resources which is controlled by businesses. And why? Because of past event. And the businesses expecting that they will get benefit from that particular resource. For example, a company car owned by a business that is expected to help generate revenue. So the company have buy this car and they are expecting that this will generate revenue. Liability, an amount owed by a business arising from the past event leading to future payment of money. So liability is actually is the amount that you have to pay, the business have to pay, and this amount which is payable arise from past event. You did some transaction in the past, and as a result of this, you have to pay some money, and that money which you'll pay in the future is called liability. So a loan, if you take loan taken by the company that need to be repaid, definitely you have to repay it in the future, and this is your liability. Then you have a concept of capital, which is very essential you have to understand. So the owner entrusts in the business made of cash, asset introduce, profits, and less any withdrawal. That is, capital is actually the injection of cash asset into the business, and that will be by the shareholders or the owners. That will be the capital of that shareholder hour. So startup company where the owner invests personal saving to launch a business, that will be the capital. So the amount they introduce at they inject at the start of the business, uh, that will be the capital. Double entry, a method of recording transaction in the general ledger is both debit and credit. So double entry means that when you did some transaction, let's say you are doing some transaction, that transaction should be recorded debit or credit. For example, you purchase assets, so you'll say debit is your purchase asset and credit will be the cash. So this is actually the double entry, which means that transaction recorded in the general ledger is both debit and credit. Clear? A sale of goods where the one entry records sale as a revenue and the another record cost of goods sold. Now, management information is used manager planning, control, and decision making. This is very important. You have to know management information description or role is information used, those information used by a manager, planning, control, and decision making. So these management information means that information that are used by manager for planning, controlling, and decision making. So a monthly sale report, this is a type of information used by the managers to plan for the future inventory need. Clear? Okay, good. Okay, you have data. What we mean by data? Data is a raw fact. We have discussed this in the previous lecture, that raw fact in figures, sell data showing the number of products sold without any analysis. When you do some analysis, that will be a report, and that will be information. So data has been processed to have meanings and sell report that show trends, identify best selling product. That is your analysis, and that is a report, and that will be information. So data is actually the raw figure, the raw facts, and that is when process the data, then that will be information. Cost units, a unit of product or services to which the cost can be associated, that will be cost unit. So the cost per unit of a product in the factory, that is a cost unit. Clear? Meaning the unit of the product or services to which the cost is associated, then we call that is cost unit. Budget is a simple plain express. This is a plain express and a monetary or quantitative terms including various types like sales, production, expenditure, budget. Like a sale budget, estimating the total sale of the upcoming year. So that will be your budget. Direct cost, prime cost, and indirect cost. Direct cost is the cost that much reliably and directly trace a specific cost unit, means material used in the production of a product. So that is a traceable direct cost, because the material is traceable, that what you have, what amount of cost you bear for the material which is used in the production of the product. So that material cost is your direct cost. Prime cost is the sum of direct costs, also known as total direct cost. So mean when you are adding of the direct cost, then you call it as prime cost. So the sum of direct labor, so this is the direct labor which are used in the production, material cost that is used in the production, and when you add up these costs, all the direct costs, then that will be your prime cost. Indirect costs, the costs that are not directly traceable to a cost unit, and known as overhead. For example, utility, you cannot specify that this unit of utility has been used for that product. So when you are not able, then you have class it is overhead, or may you cost indirect cost. So the user factory that cannot be traced or a specific product. Now cost behavior, the changes in the cost according to the level of activity, that we call as cost behavior. For example, increase in the production cost is output rises due to higher labor and material. So the cost behavior increase in production cost. Why the cost increase? Because as output increases due to higher labor and material. So that we call the change in the cost. You see, change in the cost according to the level of activity. So output rises due to the higher labor and material use. Clear? Now variable cost, the cost that change to the level of activity. The cost of raw material increase as more product are manufactured. Fixed cost, the cost remain constant, unchanged. This is simple. Mixed cost, that are both combo of variable cost and fixed cost. You see here, mixed cost is cost with a fixed and variable element. For example, electricity bill. Have you ever seen the bill that there is some fixed base P plus variable cost based on usage? So mean the number of unit you have consumed, that will be your that cost will be your variable cost, and there is some fixed base P which we call as electricity P, I think, and that is fixed. So you have a combo of both, and we can also call that semi variable or semi fixed cost. Okay, so these are all the same. Now stepped fixed cost. So a cost that remains fixed within activity range. If the activity increase beyond that range, the cost will step to another fixed level for higher. For example, a salary of supervisor. It is like this. Cost is fixed, and at certain level it is again increase and then fixed. This is called step. Why we call this is like a step? So we call step fixed cost. Salary of supervisor who receives pay raises after overseeing a certain number of employees. So it means that this is the step fixed cost, because the fixed cost increasing increasing at the activity increase behind. For example, uh, they have just this is the first step. So the fixed cost will be, this is the 10 employees, and the cost will be same for the 10 employees. Once the employees increase from this, the cost will be increased, the fixed cost. Let's say this is 11, so you say that from 11 to 20 the cost will be this one. This is the fixed cost, so this is not the fixed cost now. Clear? So now let's say we have a cost card. Cost card is a record of the cost associated with producing and selling a single product or service. So record of a cost, you from here you say this is the cost, and this is card mean record. Clear? So record of a cost associated with producing and selling a single product. So the cost, the record of those costs which is associated with a single product or services with producing and selling. When you are producing or selling, that record of cost is your cost card. So cost card per product that include raw material, labor and overhead. Clear? Okay. Contribution. Contribution means these are all the terms which are used in management information and your management activities. So contribution means sale revenue, sale revenue less variable cost, which contribute to covering fixed costs and profit. So sale revenue contribution formula is what is sale contribution is sale revenue less variable cost, and which contributes to covering the fixed cost. So when you are deducting the variable cost from the sale revenue, that is the contribution, which means that that contribution is just for covering the fixed cost and the profit. So selling a product with a contribution margin 10 after deducting a variable cost. So this means that this amount is contributing to cover your fixed cost and to earn some profit for you. Clear? Now, responsibility accounting method for costs according to the manager responsible for those costs. So that is called responsibility accounting method for cost according to the manager responsible for those costs. So responsibility accounting means that the manager responsible for those costs, they anchored. So that is called responsibility accounting. Departmental expenses tracked and reported separately for each department manager to control. Now responsibility center, an activity or area of responsibility in organization that a manager is responsible for and has control over. So responsibility center, an activity or area that is responsible in organization that a manager. Okay, this is actually this responsibility center is actually an activity or area of responsibility and organization that a manager is responsible for and has control over. So the manager is responsible for what and their control on that thing. For example, a sale department where a manager is accountable for both sale and cost. So this is actually the responsibility center. Controllable cost, the cost within the control of the manager, material cost, their production manager can influence to the purchasing decision. Clear? Okay. Uncontrollable cost, the cost that is beyond the control of the manager, mean rent of the office space that cannot be changed, cannot be controlled by the department. You have to pay the rent. Clear? Cost center, an activity or area of responsibility in organization that generate cost. Bird, not responsible for generating a revenue or producing direct profit. So, I mean, cost center is actually concerned with cost. They have not responsibility for generating revenue or producing a profit. Clear? Why? If you see IT department that anchor costs for maintaining the company computer system but does not generate sale directly. So if you see here, the IT department in an organization that are not concerned with IT product selling, but they're just concerned to maintaining the company computer system, and that is the cost or expenses for the company. So that is that department is the cost center. You see, this is the activity which is responsible for anchoring cost but will not generate any profit or revenue. So we call that is the cost center. Profit center is activity or responsibility in the organization to which cost and revenue can be attributed, and that we call as a profit center. So sale team that generate revenue and anchor cost contributing directly to the company profit, that is profit center. So in cost center you have only cost consistency, you are concerned with the cost, while in case of profit center you are concerned with the revenue plus cost. Clear? Then you have investment center. What does we mean by investment center? Investment center is actually the activity or area of responsibility in the organization. This is actually the area which is responsible for transaction to which the cost, revenue, and the asset and liability can be attributed. Then we call that is your investment center. So this to this part, you when the activities or in area of responsibilities of an organization to which the cost, revenue, and asset and liability can be attributed. For example, a division of a company that is responsible for its own profit, cost, investment, asset. So that will be the investment center. Business unit means a particular activity or area of responsibility in an organization that has a degree of autonomy and deciding plan processes for generating profit. So we call that as, so actually this business unit is actually the activity or the responsibility area of responsibility in the organization that has a degree of autonomy, and deciding, planning, and processing, generating profit. So that we call as a business unit. So the business unit is actually activity or area of responsibility for the organization, and that has a degree of autonomy in this, when they have degree of autonomy and when deciding plans, when deciding and processing the for generating profit. So a regional sale office that independently manage its own budget and sale strategy. Performance measurement, so gathering information about an organization activities, comparing them to management expectation. For example, quarterly performance review. Okay, okay. Okay, you see here now controls action taken to ensure the activity do not deviate from the expectation, that we call as control, like quality control check in a manufacturing plant to ensure product meets standard. Productivities, then variances, standard hour, codes, you just read it by yourself, is nothing more than a piece of cake. I will just go through it. You see here. You can check this in the Google, ACCA learning hub. Okay, now here MCQs, we'll just go through it. Now, which statement best describe why business organization must maintain effective control over transaction to maintain control over income and expenditure? This is the answer. Which statement describe uh, which statement describe the advantage of a centralized administration function at the head office? So the option number B, that reduce likelihood of duplicate information. So when everything is controlled from one place, so there is no duplication of, it will reduce the possibility of duplication of information. Which term describe a sequence of steps for completing a specific activities, and we have discussed that as your procedure, which is a sequence of steps for completing a specific activities. Uh, then you have another MCQ, that which statement correctly define business organization. So when a group of people working together to achieve a common goal, and that is a commercial goal, so we will call that as a business organization. And common goals, only common goals, no commercial uh, motto, so that will be the definition of organization. Which function would be carried out by human resources department? So we have discussed that what are the responsibility or role of the HR department. We discussed that they are hiring employees. We are discussed that they are training the employees, processing employee wages, processing employee expenses. These are not the concern of the HR. Clear? Okay, okay, now here you see which of the following is the primary reason for a business organization to prepare a regular financial reports. Why they are responsible for the preparation of the financial statement? The reason is to assess the financial performance and make informed decision. That is why financial reports are prepared regularly. Okay, financial report are primarily prepared to evaluate the business financial activities, uh, financial health, allowing manager to make informed strategic decision. So this is all about to assess the financial performance. Now, in other MCQs, you have which of the following is most effective way of for an organization to manage operational risk in a highly dynamic market environment. For that, you have to conducting a frequent risk assessment and updating strategy. So the effective way for the organization to manage operational risk in highly dynamic marketing environment is to conduct frequent risk assessment and updating the strategy. So when you are updating your strategy and you are conducting frequently your risk assessment, then definitely you will be operational risk managed with a proper way. Okay, which of the following define the key benefit of decentralization, decentralizing decision making authority in a large organization? So allow lower level of manager to make quicker, more contextual informed decision. So this is the means that the benefit of centralization is that there no need to put up the file for the approval of the senior management. Just go and the junior the people who are in the sub region are taking the decision, and the decision is there no need for any formality, and they just take they take the informed decision because they are actually involved in the process. So decentralization allow manager to, at lower level to make decision faster using their local knowledge and understanding of the specific situation. So this lead to a greater responsiveness and efficiency, especially in large organization with a diverse nature. So which of the following factor is most important? Factor which is most important when selecting method of inventory valuation, what are you using? So in fact on financial reporting and decision as the factor in selecting uh, the method for the inventory valuation. If you are choosing the inventory valuation method such as FIFO and last in first out or weighted average, these are the three methods significantly affect company for financial position, particularly taxable income, and the chosen method influence cost of the goods sold. Now, in business context, which of the following is most accurate definition of opportunity cost? Opportunity cost is just an economic term, but you can also use this in the management accounting. So, uh, this is actually the potential benefit foregone by choosing one alternative to another. Let's say you have this A, that is $100. This is B, this is 120, and you are selecting this, and you are just forgone this one. So this 100 is your opportunity cost. Yeah. Now let's move on. We have another MCQs. Which is the advantage of centralized administration function? So there will be no duplication of services. Duplication of services is avoided, so costs are lower. What it actually says that if you have centralized system, then you will not have the duplication services. You will not use the same two different services from the same thing. Clear? Okay. This is which activity is most likely to be functioned by the account department. So the function of the account department is payment of supply invoices. Clear? And then which statement is true of the policies, procedure, and best practices of organization? So that is the option D. Best practices, a policy or procedure accepted is being consistently most effective. Consistently most effective, a policy or procedure will be called as the best practice. Then which statement best defined in office? Office is a center for information and administration. This is the definition of office. Clear? Office in organization is defined as a center for information and administration. Then you have which is the benefit of which benefit is an organization most likely to experience from introducing policy, procedure, and best practices, and that is consistency. When you have introducing policies, procedure, and best practices, then you will get the consistency, and that is good for the long run business. Okay. And the last one, MCQs, is what is the primary purpose of organizational chart? So the primary purpose of organizational chart is option C, to show authority in communication. We have just discussed all these things repetitively, and you have just to understand. Clear? So all these things I have just taken from the ACCA Learning Hub and some from other resources. So I think we have left with another. This is the 7. What is advantage of decentralized administration function? So this option, local offices will have a greater control over the administration. This is the disadvantage of this decentralized. So you have just to understand all these concepts. Okay, now this is the 8 is two statements relating to organizational policy and procedure are shown below. A document procedure will generally allow significant flexibility, and a document procedure will contain more detail than policies. So is each statement true or false? True or false? So the question is actually asking you that a documented procedure will generally allow significant flexibility. So this is wrong. This is false. A documented procedure usually contain more detail than policy. Policy, there's some procedure for implementing their policy. So documented procedure is a sequence of steps completing a specific duty. The purpose is to achieve consistent geographic organization, and it will allow minimal, if any, flexibility. A documented procedure will contain more detailed policy, including step-by-step instruction. So this is the end of this lecture, chapter number 1, along with MCQs. We will continue in the next chapter. We'll discuss the next chapter in the next video. That is, let me show you first. Okay, our next chapter will be which one? Here. Introduction. I think we have done this one. Now the next chapter will be Introduction to Cost and Management Accounting. Clear? Thank you for watching.